Welcome to another episode of Rim Shots with Sean right here on the Rock Rage Radio Network. I have with me Mr. Riley. I was going to say Riley Baxter. That's not nice. Riley Baxter. That could be
You wouldn't be
stage
the
name.
first. You wouldn't be the first.
And we just met. You're coming across as very nice. How dare
you
I?
bastard.
Riley Baxter from Red Moon. from Red Moon One. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. Good.
So the lovely Raquel put us together. I've had the pleasure of working with her in the past. Tell me a little bit about Red Moon One.
Red Moon One is my brand new project. It's about a year old now. The drummer I have right now, really good friend of mine, Jackie Burton, amazing percussionist. The bass player is Dean Kopp, and don't make fun of that name. He's gotten that all his life. But so it's a three-piece band. I'm the singer and guitar player, and I've been working on this for a while now, and it's going real good.
So obviously, when you say brand new band, there's a history of you in the music business. You just didn't start this out of the blue. You've got some tenure. You've got some background. Tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, the band started actually just 1 year ago today. This is October. I started this project last October. I have I mean, you could ask me specific questions about my pedigree, if you will. Is that what you use the term?
Sure.
But yeah, I've been playing music a very, very long time. My father was a guitar player for a living back in the 60s. And he opened a guitar shop named McCabe's Guitar Shop. It's in Santa Monica. He opened that in 1967, I believe, and it's still standing today. My dad has passed since then, but the guitar shop is still there. And so basically, I grew up around music my whole life. I'm a songwriter. I play multiple instruments. I've sang and played guitar and bass as the hired gun in many bands, and done some extensive touring and record making over the years. And basically, like I just said, I've kind of been the hired gun over the years, and this is my baby. This is my ship, and I'm the captain this time. And everything's going great so far, you know.
So I love the term hired gun for a couple of reasons. One, that's one of my favorite movies. I'm sure you saw that documentary.
Called Hired Gun?
Yes.
I haven't seen that.
So go hunt it out. It's it was done by Jason Nook from Five Finger Death Punch, and it's basically the tales of anybody who wasn't a front band person. So everybody from Liberty DeVito to, it's very cool. You would like it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to. I've never heard of that. That sounds great.
You would love it.
I didn't know he did that as well. That's awesome.
Yeah, you would love it, and you would relate a lot to it because you know, I guess, you know, so Jason's a great example in there is he was playing for Mandy Moore and thought everything was good, and he went and he bought a house, and then 2 days later she sent an email basically saying, well, I no longer require your services, and he had no idea what he was going to do. And that's the plight of the hired gun sometimes.
Well, I use that term a little loosely. I've been a hired gun, like literally. I'm a tattoo artist for a living, and I tattoo a lot of rock and roll musicians. I used to work at Sunset Strip Tattoo back in, I don't want to date myself, but a while ago, when all the rock stars were getting tattooed at this tattoo shop I worked at, there were multiple times where I ran into a rock star friend of mine who needed a guitar player or needed a bass player, this or that. So that's the hired gun part. But also, I've been co-creator with people in projects like that. Same kind of thing. Like I said, I kind of, as an artist, got involved in a whole music world because I worked at the rock star tattoo shop, literally. That's how I met Tommy Lee. That's how I met Tracy Guns. That's how I met, Duff from Guns N' Roses, and just the list goes on and on. And for instance, the first time I met Tracy Guns, he walked into the tattoo shop, and the owner of the shop said, "Hey, you're tattooing Tracy today." And I sat down and tattooed Tracy for a couple hours. And long story short, we became such good friends over the years that he literally was going on tour to South America with LA Guns, and the timing was right. And I needed a place to stay, and he needed someone to watch his dog. So he said, "Hey, I got a room at my house, right? In this, right?" So I ended up moving into his house, and he went to South America on tour with LA Guns. So we keep in touch on the phone, and he comes back 3, 4 months later, and he walks in the door and he says, "I am so sick and tired. I am so sick and tired of being in LA Guns. I need to do something myself. I need something, an outlet. We are starting a band today." And, he just walked in the door. I'm not even done hugging the guy, and we're breaking out a bottle of Jack Daniels and a 4-track recorder and starting to throw down riffs. Again, long story short, about 2 months later, we had a whole record written. We got Chuck Burns from Seduce and Kent Holmes, who's an amazing, amazing guitar player, bass player that was Tracy's guitar tech for numbers and numbers on the bass guitar. And we all sat around the house. Chuck moved into the house as well. And we wrote Killing Machine songs for the project me and Tracy co-created called Killing Machine. And we ended up doing a record on Sony Japan. It's distributed on all kinds of stuff now. Really killer record. To this day, I think people say that it holds up, and it was before its time. There's some heavy, heavy stuff on there, and a big rock and roll ballad for you ladies. But so that was something, and literally that was done back in the 90s. So that was something like I co-created. And then over a number of years, Tracy ended up, of course, because it's his baby too. How are you not going to return? You just get little spouts of anger when you're on the road with people for so long, for some time. So he was probably just going through that. But I got a record in a band that toured and did some incredible things, and the record still stands to this day. So other than that, down the road, same thing. I'm tattooing this band that just got a hot new record deal. They love my artwork. I'm sleeving these guys with their record company money, and they were just about to go on the road in 2 weeks. They just finished their record. And I'm tattooing the drummer, my friend Gary Benson, and he says, "Hey man, you hate our bass player, and we're about to go on the road. We just finished our record. Would you check our stuff out, see if you like it?" So I did, and I loved it. And he goes, "Can you learn a couple songs and come down and rehearse tomorrow night?" So I said, "Hell yeah." So I went down and got the gig, and we rehearsed for another week, I believe, and literally went on the road, I think, for about a 2-year stretch where we were home for about maybe 3 months in 2 years. We did the whole college circuit. I mean, we opened for bands like Papa Roach at the time, Lit, Stone Temple Pilots, Filter. We were on that college festival circuit tour for years. We ended up, that band was called Frankie Machine at the time. It was on Mammoth Records, like with Squirrel Nut Zippers. Ever hear of them? But so that was our record label at the time. And we did that whole circuit. And literally one of the best tours I ever went on during that band, Jägermeister and Hard Rock Hotel, Casino, and Cafes, all the Hard Rock, Hard Rock, right? Hard Rock Cafe. Okay, you know what the Hard Rock Hotel and Cafes are.
Absolutely.
Well, this is something I learned. Any Hard Rock restaurant that you go into, there's the lower level, and then there's the kind of upper level where they have tables around and the railing. Well, all you ever have to do when you're sitting there eating at one of those is look up for the lighting trestle. And then you see that those railings removed. That's an instant stage. And every single one of them in the country has them into Canada. So we got a tour with Frankie Machine where Jägermeister and Hard Rock Hotel were the sponsors of it, right? So preferably, I like hotel rooms better than buses. So we had a van. We would drive to a city. We pull up to the Hard Rock restaurant, whatever. Like for instance, in Dallas, the Hard Rock there is in an old church that was literally built in like 1872 or something, right? And it's got basements and attics and blah blah blah. It's a beautiful building with all the original stained glass and everything. That's a Hard Rock out there. And pulled up there, and we wonderful restaurant. We got to eat every day on tour. Imagine that. So we would eat when we pull up. We do a sound check. We meet the band we were playing with, and we'd be off to the races. That night we go to our motel room, and the next day we did that. We did every single Hard Rock in the United States and Canada. And I forget how long that took, but it took like 3 months or something. Oh, what a great tour. I mean, we pulled up and we had food, lodging, and tons of kids. It was an all ages thing as well, too. So that I would say was a hired gun type thing. I was hired because they lost their guy. They got me in the band. I'd never even heard them before, but luckily I loved them. And that band ended up, I was in the band so long, it evolved to the point where we literally opened for the Cult for, I think it was like 25 shows, I believe. And luckily, the day we pulled up to get on that leg of the tour, well, not luckily, but Stabbing Westward and Monster Magnet were the opening bands for the Cult, right? And we were the baby band that was supposed to open up these, half-filled arenas and places they were having the Warped Tour at the day before, right? So we pull up. The singer of Monster Magnet had broke his foot the night before, and Stabbing Westward had gotten dropped. And Ian from the Cult was like, well, actually, I knew him, and Matt Sorum was the drummer at the time. And so we were all buddy. Hey, and they said, let's just get through this show tonight. Hopefully they don't egg you off the stage because the other bands aren't playing, right? So we just went up there and did our thing. And at the end of the show, we killed it. It didn't hurt that we were launching our merchandise into an audience. So they wouldn't drag us on stage, but they really dug us. And after that, literally Ian came up and said, hey, would you guys mind if we didn't get any more opening bands? This is the last 30 shows of this tour. Why don't we just have you guys open? Then we have 2 mixing boards, our mixing board and opening band mixing board, and now we don't have to touch it. We'll just set them up and bang, 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 bang. Our 2 bands. What an amazing thing, right? We thought we were going to be playing with 3, opening the baby band, and we end up being the only band for 25 shows opening for the Cult. We killed it. We killed it. We became best friends with Ian's kids. We were their favorite band. Every day they had our shirt on, and and all that stuff. So that was like a hired gun thing that turned into, I was a part of the band writing songs with them and doing our thing. And we ended up literally getting a record deal on A&M Records proper. And
Nice.
we changed the name. The name got changed. I don't know if I should say the name again, because what ended up happening, long story short, all the money and all the recording and all the stuff, Brendan O'Brien did our record, dude. The producer Brendan O'Brien did the record I played. Okay. It got, I'm sure it got very expensive. And what ended up happening was somehow the attorneys, blowing bubbles. Somehow the attorneys for our band missed that Flying Tigers was already registered. So we got a cease and desist after they released the record. And the attorney's fees and to buy the name and all that stuff got so expensive, they just decided to drop the record. That's how moves work. That's a smart move. A bad move with their attorney because, you know, we were being billed as the next, Nirvana, literally. And so, anyways, that band disbanded, and that was all. This is all stuff when I lived in Los Angeles and Hollywood. That's where I was born and raised in Los Angeles and Hollywood. I have a son, and I have two sons. But when my first son was born, I didn't want to raise him in the environment, and I wanted to get off the road from touring. I wanted to raise my kid and not come back and see him 6 inches taller. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
My wife didn't want me to go either because, you know, you need to make some money. I'm the man, right? So that's when we decided, you know what? I have some friends in Las Vegas, Nevada here. I love Las Vegas. I called up a friend of mine, and like I said, I'm a tattoo artist. Called up a friend of mine. He said, we'd love to have you. And I've been here 19 years now, raising my kids and playing in my local bands. I've had people call me, hey, dude, you know, we're going out on the road. You know, you want to learn this record? I'm like, dude, I'm in Las Vegas. You know, oh, we'll get you out. You know, they got the money. They'll fly me out to rehearse and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm not leaving my kid, man. Sorry. I'll see you when they're older, you know? And now they're older. And I don't know if you have kids, but when they get in their 18, 19s and stuff, you know, you got to kind of deal with, do they love me anymore or not? Maybe they need some space from dear old dad. So
Yeah.
I created this new band, Red Moon One. Got my two buddies that are the best musicians, pick of the litter. These guys weren't doing something. It was in the stars that these guys said, yeah, let's do this. Because I had some stuff demoed. They're like, I like the direction. It's different than anything you've done. Usually I do much heavier stuff, metal at times, punk at times. The stuff I'm doing now, I would say you'd have to listen to a few of the songs because it does get eclectic. Our song Witches would be a very heavy and rip your head off Tracy Guns type guitar lead. I mean, you have to Witches. But then we have our song, which is our single we just dropped, Chardonnay Lady. Chardonnay Lady is has almost a disco beat, if you will, but still has the heavy rhythm and ripping guitar lead, wah, pedal, mania. One of my favorite guitar leads I've ever written or played. And it's a song about, like I saw Raquel describe it, it's a song about going to the club and seeing the girl that you love and or are in love with and trying to make eye contact with her. And she's there for a good time. And there she went. Didn't even get a chance to talk to her. But, you know, you saw her drinking that glass of wine. And that's how you know her. She's your Chardonnay lady.
Nice.
You know? So, you know, I have multiple band stories like the one I told you about the Flying Tigers and Tracy. There's other ones as well, too. But yes, I've done extensive real life. It paid my bills and I made records. And I am a singer at heart and lyricist and poet, if you will. If you're able to ever read my lyrics or hear what the hell I'm saying while you're listening to it, you might catch a glimpse of my deep depth.
Well,
this
is quickly becoming one of my. I was just going to say, Riley, this is quickly becoming one of my favorite interviews because I asked you one question and you covered almost everything that we cover on a regular basis in this podcast. You covered networking.
Right? I'm clean and sober too. Don't get me started.
Well, there you go.
That's clarity.
But you're an absolute byproduct of everything that you know, that somebody that's trying to make it in the business, they always ask, you know, what's the best way to do it? And in about 4.5 minutes, you gave a master class on using your network, on, you know, how to basically be a
All
guy that
right.
people want to be
Oh, good.
around.
Well, we'll charge money for this and send it to banditbaxter@yahoo.com. That is my PayPal. I could use the money. I seriously,
Well,
I thought you were going to say I'm a product of probably all of the projects I've been in, which actually, I, you went another direction with it, but you just spurred the thought in my head. Yeah, I thought you were going to say that, definitely I'm an eclectic mix of all the bands I've been in. There's some Killing Machine in there, there's some Frankie Machine, some Flying Tigers, there's my old band Self Abuse and Snare, and my band Sonic Sedation and Tripod and you know, so I'm hoping I mean I know friends of mine definitely hear it because when they hear one song, well, that's kind of a mix of that and this and that and kind of thing. And people are really digging it. The one thing I definitely, no matter how heavy or the tempos of the songs that I have in this band, was really interested in seeing the girls dance again while we're playing and
right.
having something that dudes can bang their head to, and seeing some girls hips move because I haven't seen that a lot in clubs lately. It's either one or the other. It's either you're going to see a band you know you're going to dance, or you're going to see a band where you're like, oh, you're gonna scream your freaking head off. Um, but I'm trying to find that happy medium, and definitely finding it. I'm watching videos of us playing live, and I'm seeing people pulling out their dance moves and stuff, and I'm going, yeah, I'm done. I did it. That's my intention.
Fantastic. Um, where are my viewers and listeners going to find you guys? Get your music. I heard the album,
Okay.
and I thought it was great. It's got a punk vibe to me. I don't know if you've heard that one before, but I get a really
Yeah,
rock
that's
kind
what
of
I'm
punk
saying.
vibe.
There's mixtures of stuff that I just create and do what feels good. And what ends up happening is I'm getting that, like, oh, I'm feeling a punk vibe on this. You're gonna get that. My whole high school years. I mean, I've always been a metal fan since I was 9, 10, 11, 12. But once I got into punk rock in my teens, I got into English punk rock and Oxnard skateboard punk. I was super and still am big into punk rock. So you're going to hear that influence. You're going to hear Black Sabbath to Circle Jerk. You know what I mean? But let's see. I can't see myself on the pic, but oh, here we go. But this is my sticker. I put these all around town. See the
Love it.
QR code? That was a clever idea
Yeah.
there. So the way to ever look up my music or find any of our content is to look up Red Moon One on any music platform, Spotify, Apple Music, anything. Red Moon One. The record at this point is called Electric Phantom. The Red Moon One Electric Phantom. But if when you're on your music carrier, if you scroll, you can go down and I have several singles as well. Where Chardonnay Lady is our new single that is, well, if you scroll down, you see more releases from Red Moon One.
Yep.
So that's where you would find it on literally any music platform. I was just in Argentina. We just toured Argentina. I made it back alive. And the whole band did too. But Red Moon One just toured in Argentina with a band called the Turbo Coopers. They're fucking action rock and roll. They're like the Backyard Babies in Sweden. They're like the Backyard Babies of Argentina. And actually, we're all friends. Like Dragon from the Backyard Babies is friends with Leo from the whole band. Leo from Turbo Coopers. Like, this is all a very incestuous thing. If you know how rock and roll business works.
Sure.
Especially if you've been in the business and playing in bands as much as I have. So anyways, Red I was getting to the point in Argentina, they use a carrier or a music platform I've never heard of in my life. It's not even the same language. It's in Spanish, right? And I said, do you hear my stuff on Apple Music? And I forgot what this is called, but they go, no, it's this and that. So I'm like, okay, it's on everything. So you can look up Red Moon One, the record's Electric Phantom. It's on any music platform, and there's singles underneath, like Chardonnay Lady, the song we just dropped. And our first single, Hole in the Ground, I believe, is the single on there too, but it's the first song on the record. And then for people who want to really dive into the rabbit hole and just see more content, like our videos, our bio, to read about us, see more candid pictures and photo album, and a bunch of cover songs that I'm not releasing on any platform because you can't do that. This is a no unless you go and get it licensed and blah blah blah. But shh, if you want to hear a couple before I get a cease and assist, go to Reverb Nation. If you never heard of Reverb Nation, now you have Reverb Nation, and you always type in .com and then / and then you pick whatever band is on there. ReverbNation.com / Red Moon One, and our page will pop up. That's what this QR code is on my sticker. People can just scan it with their phone. I got these things all over the place. And Reverb Nation, like any other website, it's my band website. At the top, you'll see music, videos, show dates, all that. So you can see all our videos on there. I think we have like 5 videos. And I think there's like 15 or 16 songs on there, which on all the music platforms, I think I have 9 songs on the record and a few singles, And like I said, on the Reverb Nation page, we do an Any Money song, Give Me Some Water, oldie, but I love that song, man. It's like my life story right there. And we do a good version of that. We do Peter Murphy Cuts You Up, which is one of my favorite love songs. And we do and if you thought you heard punk elements in what our band is doing, listen to that song. Got the double time punk, and if you've ever heard the original, it's it's an orchestra. La, 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 with violins, and we play it. It's really fun. It's a version I always heard in my head when I always love the song how it is, but I've always heard this more upbeat version, so I finally did it, And sorry, folks, it's not $1 million record that's going to sound like I won't name any bands, but all these big bands that are AIing and auto tuning and putting 500 guitars on it. Sorry. It is the only budget I can afford production. Some of it is done at home and some of it is done in studios. Some of it may even sound demo-ish. But, we used to put on headphones and get into the vibe of whatever recording studio. If you listen to a Black Sabbath record, one of the old ones that they recorded in one day compared to, say, Ma Rules or something later on. I'm just saying, to me, I have a couple of my favorite friends' bands. I'll listen. I love the songs and just that weirdness of the room they recorded it in. It's not that good a recording, but well, look at the Misfits for God's sake. Horrible sounding audio to me. I'm just saying, I wouldn't let that go out the door these days. But back then, that's what they did, and that's how it sounded. And that's the whole thing about the magic about music to me is when you're in a mood and you put earphones in and not just listen to one song. If you want to get into someone's roller coaster of poetry and music and story, because people seem to forget songs aren't just songs that we're randomly writing and putting on here. These are time periods of our life that we're writing what's happening with us and what's coming to our head spontaneously. We don't have some people might, but I don't have 15 writers sitting around helping me write lyrics and melodies and all this to a song. This is something I come home if I'm pissed off from driving through traffic all day. And I'm sick and tired of the man and this and that. I write a song like the song I wrote, My Life, My Way. It's my life. It's my way. You know what I mean? I'm not fucking around. I'm burning rubber all over town, raising hell and taking names, kind of song. That's one of my favorite ones on our record. But my point is that um when you go to listen to something like I have, some songs may sound a little more in your tune, and those are ones I spent a little more money on because that's where I wanted to go with those. Those are my hot tracks. All the other stuff is recorded good, but if you hear variations in that, that's because these things are done spontaneously and it's a storybook, and that to me is why I listen to some of my friends' records and love them that are much poorer recording quality than I got because I love the song and I can hear their journey in it. You know what I mean? And I'm the type of person I don't just listen to one song. Like I sit down and listen to the whole record. If I don't like a whole record, maybe there's one or two that I listen to back and forth. But if I like 90% of it, I'll sit back and you know have a good relaxation trip with headphones on and really listen to what my friends try and put out because it's important. Some people like my a lot of people I know and like me. I'm not in this for the money. You always hear that. I mean, I work for a living. I would love to get my message if or lyrics or whatever makes someone feel better. Bring them out of that suicidal depression or put them right fucking into it. Whatever it does that makes them go forward is why I and the feeling I get when I'm trying to put a project together like this. And that's the fun for me. So if you listen to our record, have mercy on me. Have mercy on me. And for God's sake, put on some headphones. People sitting around, I'm going to listen to your record now on this thing. Do your thing if that's how you listen, but you're missing out on so much. You're missing out on when my dog barked in the background when I was singing a song. Or, when you hear my drummer fucking scream, God damn, that was a good take, and you hear it through the snare fucking microphone or what you know what I mean? You miss so much. And that would be my suggestion to people. But in any case, listen to however the fuck you want. I hope that this is a song that puts you in a better mood for the day.
Mr. Riley Baxter, I want to thank you for doing this, my friend.
Oh, hell yeah.
We'll have to do it again. I want to see where you're at in a couple months.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Keep in touch. We got a lot of stuff. Working with Raquel Figlow now. She's doing a bunch of stuff like introduced us. So I hope you enjoy our record and I hope to keep in touch with you as well, too. And our social network, you got our music thing. We are on Facebook and Instagram, Red Moon One. Easy enough. Follow us and hope to see you guys there.
We'll get you out, man. Peace.
All right, buddy.